What's up? Sunday Fun Day. We are going through the best NBA player props on PrizePicks for today. So we have Warriors Mavs Game 3. The Mavs are still favored, and hopefully you were able to tail the PrizePicks entry I gave out yesterday. 2 player props, 1 hockey, 1 NBA. We had Nathan McKinnon not to score a goal, and Bam over 22.5 PRAs. Guy had 47. We cashed this. So we are going to be looking again for value on PrizePicks. We're already up 4.5K. Let's keep it rolling today. So watching the previous video may be helpful to get a sense of the strategy, but essentially for any 2 player prop pick entry on PrizePicks, so if we just go to start an entry and we go to, let's say, the NBA, and we put in, 2 player props, it doesn't matter if I take the over or the under, I'm getting plus 200 odds, right? If I switch this to the under, payout doesn't change. If I switch this to Curry, payout doesn't change. 2 player props, 2 NBA picks, you are getting plus 200 odds. This to win includes your entry stake. So it's $20 to win, $40 a profit, which is just plus 200 odds. So if you're ever, putting money on something that's plus 200 odds, you need to win 1 out of 3 times to break even, right? You lose 100, you lose 100, you win $200 profit, you break even. So you want to look for PrizePicks entries where your implied win probability is greater than 33.33%, which means for a 2 player prop pick entry, you need to be winning each of your player props over 57.74% of the time to break even, which is an implied price, implied odds of minus 137 on PrizePicks for any player prop that you include. So let's go through what I like for today. So player rebounds, we are going with Maxi Kleber over 4.5 rebounds. So you can see Pinnacle Sportsbook, the sharpest sportsbook in the world, listed under this OddsJam column. They do not have a market on Kleber, right? They do not have a market on Kleber, but you can see PrizePicks is giving us the implied price of minus 137. Bet Online, a very sharp sportsbook, is at minus 167. Caesars minus 160. DraftKings minus 165. So if we take the 0 vig line from, let's say, Bet Online, minus 167 plus 127, we can see the fair odds would be minus 142, which is beating, right, the 57.74% implied win probability that we need to beat for each of our picks on PrizePicks, right? So you want to look for wagers that the 0 vig line from a sharp sportsbook, usually Pinnacle, is better or lower odds than minus 137. So minus 142, this is a great pick to include in our PrizePicks entry. Caesars has this minus 160 plus 130. So if we go ahead and put that in, again, 0 vig line minus 141, we're beating minus 137. The implied win probability would be greater than 57.74%. So this is a sharp player prop pick to include in our entry. DraftKings minus 165 plus 125. We might as well do it. Plus 125. Again, we are beating 58.35%. So most sportsbooks seem to agree Kleber is 58% roughly to have over 4.5 rebounds. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to rebounds, and then we're going to find Kleber, and we're going to take his over. Now, the second player prop I have in my entry, because all PrizePicks entries must have at least two picks, is Spencer Dinwiddie over 2 rebounds. So these really shouldn't be, correlated, at least that correlated. They're both relatively low rebound totals. Dinwiddie having over 2 rebounds shouldn't have much correlation to Kleber having over 4.5 rebounds. So you can see most sportsbooks set the line at 2.5. Right? So being able to get over 2 is quite good, right? Because the distribution, if it's centered around 2.5, the jump to 2 is actually pretty big. So minus 137 on PrizePicks on the over is another great pick. Again, you can use a Poisson distribution or something like that to kind of get a sense of the actual fair value, but we're not going to go through that in this video since it's a bit more complex. But again, the jump from 2 to 2.5 is pretty big. So we're rolling with Dinwiddie over 2 rebounds as well in our PrizePicks entry. So we're going to go to Dinwiddie, and then I'm going to take him over 2 rebounds. We can refresh the positive EV page of mathematically profitable, player props, main line, see if there's anything else on PrizePicks we want to include. If not, I think this I'm going to roll with. So again, just looking for value using OddsJam, comparing PrizePicks to the markets on sportsbooks. It should be pretty clear being able to get over 2 on Dinwiddie rebounds is quite good, given most sportsbooks are setting it at 2.5. Mathematically speaking, pretty damn good bet. So let's go ahead. Let's lock this in. Kleber, Dinwiddie, plus 200 odds. NBA player props for tonight. Mavs Warriors, game 3. Got to get some action in. We've been crushing PrizePicks. Hopefully we can keep it going. $250 on this entry to win $500 of profit. So $750 total. Let's hit it. Let's make some money. Entries must include at least 2 players from 2 different teams. It's not going to let me take this. So, okay. I got to find one more player prop. There was actually one I liked. If I go to Brunson assists. So if we go to Brunson assists, over 3 assists, are they going to let me bet on this? And let's go to player assists right here, and I'll show you why I like this one. It's quite similar to the Dinwiddie one. So if we go to Brunson over 3, again, you can see the jump from 3 to 3.5 is quite big. Pinnacle actually has the over 3.5 favored, so it seems like this is pretty good value if we can get Brunson over 3 assists. Let's see if they take this. So I guess you have to include 2 players from 2 different teams. So what we can do is we can kind of scroll around and see if we can find anything else to include in our PrizePicks entry. That is a rule about PrizePicks that I was not aware of. So what we can do is we can look for something on Draymond. So Draymond over 6, I think we'll hold off on that. We can just scroll around. Again, I'm just kind of looking for where PrizePicks has different lines, right, than the sportsbook. So over 3 for pool seems quite good, right? Over 3. Sportsbooks are setting it at 3.5. That's a great option to include. Again, the jump from 3 to 3.5 is quite big, especially when the total is set that low. So we can keep looking. Curry over 5 also seems decent, but I'd rather take pool over 3 just because the total is lower. We can also look at rebounds and see if we can find anything on the Warriors here. So where are their discrepancies? Dorian Finney-Smith. So otherwise, PrizePicks is relatively in line, right? You definitely don't want to include Brunson rebounds, right? Every sportsbook like minus 104, minus 115, whereas you are getting an implied price of minus 137 on both sides on PrizePicks. So I think we're going to go with pool under 3, or over 3, I believe it was assists. That seemed like the best value. So let's go to pool. And then over 3 assists. That's what I want to go with. So Jordan Poole, over 3 assists, and we'll lock this bet in. So profitable PrizePicks entry. This one I'm more confident in and I like. But again, when there's a jump from 3 to 3.5, you can use a Poisson distribution or something like that to kind of back out the implied probability, but this seems like a pretty good pick, right, to include. I wish I could have included the Dinwiddie one, but whatever. This one seems almost as good, maybe. So 2 picks, 2 player props on PrizePicks, NBA player prop. Entry for tonight, Kleber over 4.5 rebounds, Jordan Poole over 3 assists. Let's make money.